All right. Recording, and live. What is off?
Something's off.
Yeah. I think it's just me, though. No. It's like, I meant like me visually screen stuff.
Oh. It's like,
I'm
we
good.
haven't even really started.
No. Okay. You put absolutely no notes in for today, so I am scared.
Because this was like your thing. The extra sex scenes, which are just sex scenes. And also, I was slammed at work, and I'm just relying on the tons of research I've done over the last 2 months to pull out of my head. I did put some things to refresh my memory.
No, for all the characters, you just wrote the word kisses. You put no notes in.
Yeah, because you told me you wanted to talk about the kisses, not me. I put it there for you to know, like, because you said you want to talk about, like, the different kisses. Wait. There we go. I was like, there was a couple things, mainly just in Manthara, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. We can have a fun night of us just vibing. I did pull 3 audio clips for tonight, though, so I'm excited because you have no idea what I did. Who am I today?
Who are you today?
Yeah.
Genesis, goddess of passion.
There we go.
Is everything good?
Yeah, we good.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna just open it up on my phone. And go from there. I think, yeah, I'm good. You're good. We good. Water and wine. Audio clips are up. And we're recording everywhere. Okay. Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who is probably going to be unhinged, undone, and unwell by the end of this episode.
And I'm Vervada, the girl who got a script writing break this week because this is Jen's show today. This is all the sexy things. So I'm here on the sidelines. Can't wait. Entertain me.
Oh, remember, darling, your safe word is Kato.
I know I actually need to remember that because I might need it.
Yes. If you're new here, welcome to the beautiful chaos. But you should know that our podcast centers on character and romance analysis, usually, and never shies away from exploring the fun of fucking, and especially on this episode.
For sure. And we also talk about the deep emotional connections built between two or more characters, typically, but I wouldn't expect anything really deep, at least emotionally, in this episode tonight. So we still will use specific in-game dialogue in some instances. So if you want to stay spoiler-free, then this is not the podcast for you.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, N7. And just like with all of our previous episodes, we'll assume that you have some background knowledge of the game and character in question, but we will be providing context for those of you who may be unfamiliar. Tonight, however, we pretty much assume that you've listened to our Baldur's Gate 3 episodes and know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I think you'd have to live under a rock at this point. If you're like in the gaming community at all, you have to intentionally not look at Baldur's Gate 3 things. It's just everywhere. Also, congratulations to everyone for the BAFTA wins yesterday. Well done, as usual. That was also exciting. One of the characters that we were talking about tonight, their voice actor was actually the winner for that BAFTA. So exciting.
Oh, do tell. Or are you going to wait?
Oh, gosh, I can't remember his name. I think let me look it up. It's a man who voiced Raphael. I know we technically don't romance Raphael, but you kind of can.
And speaking of romance.
Andrew Wincott. There you go. Sorry.
Amazing. Oh, okay. Somebody sent me the most, I actually do remember. The most unhinged TikTok that I have seen from that man was when he decided to tell chat, "You have been a naughty little girl." And chat fucking lost it because he did it on a live Twitch stream. Oh, that was amazing. But
he knows what the people want.
Yeah. And the people want Raphael. And there's kind of a way to do that. In fact, you can, once you hit the House of Hope, find an incubus in the boudoir.
Hang on. We should probably talk about what we're doing today. Unless you're unless you're not launching straight into it.
I was going to launch straight into it, but go for it.
Training timeout. Tonight's episode, we are just talking about what I like to call the thanks for the memories peeps. So they are the one night stands. They are the little interactions you can have in Baldur's Gate 3 that are not a romance. It is just sex. So that includes, the Drow twins, Mizora, Harlip, as Jen was just getting into. And are there more than that?
You can walk in on the bugbear and the ogress having sex, but you're not involved with that. There is the scene. Yeah, that was it's an amazing scene. There is the technically what I would consider a bondage scene, depending on how you fully play out and interact with the dialogue, with the priest of Leviatar in Act 1 in the Goblin Camp.
It's sexual for one of us, maybe both.
Yeah, he definitely got off on that shit. Did you know that you also get a buff and advantage on your rolls if you stand naked? If you remove all of your clothing and stand naked up against the wall.
Yeah, I did. I did that. It stays throughout the entire game.
Mm-hmm. Leviatar's blessing. No, I can't think of anybody else that you actually have sex with.
I don't think there is. I think it's just those three. I mean, of course, you could have a one night stand with any of the companions if you don't want to romance them. Like, you could technically just sleep with them and then break up with them if you're already locked in. Or in the case of like Astarion and Halcyon, Lae'zel, like you can just have sex and never pursue a romance. But we've already talked about them. We're not talking about them. We are talking about the ones that are just a one night stand. So take it away. We're down in the hells. The smell of sulfur is in the air. What happens?
Well, the smell of lust is also there. Now, I did bring three audio clips for tonight. But this first one sets the scene for Harleap.
You'll be crying out my name soon. You'd better know it. I am Harlip, Raphael's personal incubus, glamored and transfigured to look like him. I'm a perfect copy. He only ever wants to sleep with himself. What's better than the devil you know?
His violating stare sees more than all of you. It sees potential.
Before we continue, I want to make sure you're comfortable.
Sometimes, when he's feeling adventurous, Raphael will ask me to change into the Archduchess, Raphael. I can take her form if you choose. A simple swap pales in comparison to what you were about to do for me.
So there we have it. And I get to describe a scene within the first 10 minutes of an episode. Hot damn. This scene, by the way, is too spicy for YouTube. You can only find edited and cut down versions. So thank you, Pornhub, for being exactly what I needed. Harlip instructs you to lie down on the bed, on your back, and we get a beautiful crawl up the bed. If you've listened long enough to this show, you know I love a good body crawl. And with the wings unfurling, delicious. And I quote, "Every kiss is tender as a last goodbye, and every touch a lie of true love." Surprisingly tender kisses from Harleap, but then they move back down your body and they begin rocking their hips back and forth at a leisurely pace. And the narrator's dialogue kicks it into overdrive. A male Harleap will work your body over in a missionary style, holding your knees, then grabbing your hips, only quickening the pace if you fail a con save. Now, the Archduchess will straddle your hips and ride you into oblivion. Forgive me, Daddy, for I have been naughty. But damn, does this scene really work? The voice of the narrator and the voice of Harleap going back and forth, describing your pleasure and asking you to devote yourself to pleasure eternal. And the descriptive ways that they are fucking you, it's just too intense. My characters have always started the show, but I've never fully completed this scene. Because there is always a downside to fucking an incubus. And this one wants to keep your body. And that has consequences. If Harley keeps your body to make use of it whenever they want, shapeshift into your form, you will feel every touch, every pleasure, every pain. And that every pain while they are wearing your form. You can be walking down the streets of Baldur's Gate and all of a sudden an orgasm overwhelms you. Your companions and your romance option definitely has something to say. But these are the little moments that are best experienced on your own. Or don't. The choice is up to you. I will play this last little clip because it is such a good burn. But you only get to hear it if you decide to hand over your body.
Now, your reward for giving me such a present. I will tell you one, and only one, of Raphael's dirty secrets. Whisper it to me. What do you want to know?
Is Raphael actually any good in bed?
No.
I forgot to add that in my notes. So generally, I don't record audio lines and add them to clips. But I feel for a more immersive episode for tonight that it was a little bit required. You need to know what your dialogue options are for scenes like these.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've slept with him and then I save scummed and killed him because I'm not about to have any kind of devil have my body to use as it pleases. No, thank you. I think that's also funny that he says Raphael is a shitty lover. Because, duh, he's having sex with himself. That's lame. It's like masturbate. Gosh, I can't talk today. I didn't even have any wine. It's like masturbation, but with extra steps, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just doing it to say, I can.
The scene's definitely hot, and it's very well choreographed, very well body mapped out. I really do enjoy the way that it looks, but the consequences, no thank you. I don't want that.
I don't even like the scene because the part that it's like you are standing there and Harlep is making you strip and your companions are just in the background watching you. I also feel like there was a missed opportunity with the fact that they chose to leave your companions in the scene, but not really a part of the scene, and yet there is no reaction.
There is now.
There is now? Okay,
Yeah.
good, because I haven't played it since. I mean, that's the thing with this game is there's constant patches, and that's all great. It's just hard to talk about a scene when it changes a lot. I'm glad they've added that because I remember the first time I played through it, and I had already locked in with Astarion. I think I had already done like Cazador and finished his quest line before I went into the House of Hope. And he said nothing when I finished with Harlip. And I was like, I mean, I know he says something later on if you stay with that choice and you experience that sudden orgasm in the streets, but which I think is a lovely touch. But yeah, I thought he should say something after. He did the same thing after Mizora also to me. Like he just said some flippant comment, which felt out of place, like where we were at in our relationship. It felt like he should have been upset, you know? or at least had something different to say.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I don't. I'm
with
sorry,
the
just with this scene, I don't like that they stand there watching you. I think it's weird.
yeah. No, with patch 6, I'm pretty sure Astarion. No, who was I? I think it was it was my Dirge run that I most recently did it on. And I was romancing Lae'zel, and she got fucking pissed. She's like, "You do not need to strip before him." But then I did it anyways. And I've seen a clip of Astarion going, "Darling, you don't need to sacrifice this for anything. It's not worth it." But no, he was really sweet and understanding about it. And then, of course, the reaction on the streets is very, very touching, depending on who he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't recommend it. I mean, it doesn't. Well, aside from the Drow twins, although it's not my cup of tea either because of things we'll talk about when we get to them. But none of these one night stands with anyone infernal are worth it at all.
No. And speaking of the infernal, up next is Mizora. The Mizora scene I have definitely played out a few times, but it's not worth it to me on any level. Yes, seeing that Mizora titties are pretty and that the curtains match the drapes, it's not, okay, I'll set the scene for you. I did not do a true and proper breakdown of this because it's not actually sex. All it is, it's descriptive layers of the hells and how you can transform those hells into pleasure. The pleasure of the void, the pleasure of screaming in pain, the pleasure that the flames can bring as they cleanse over your body, or the way that feeling frostbite can be pleasurable. And you really start to lose me on these ones, Mizora. I love pain. That is not a secret, but even this is a little too far for me.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's surprised that I didn't like it. I did it just to see because I have this podcast. I needed to see it firsthand. But I was like, I don't want to just stand here awkwardly naked while Mazora is describing pain to me and I'm choosing what my personal flavor of it should be. I don't care. I don't like pain, so not a thing for me. I thought you would like it just because you like the weave scene with Gale, but at least there's some kind of touching because this kind of like gives that same vibe at first to me where it's like this is like the essence of sex, some kind of coming together in some spiritually way, but then Mazora doesn't end up doing that the way Gale does. It's just like, let me show you what my power is like for a split second, and it's horrible and also somehow orgasmic, and I didn't get it. It was like an art project that I didn't get. I'm not really an artsy person either, so
I totally see how this is the opposite end of the spectrum of the weave scene, because the weave scene to me was a beautiful melding of two souls that are in love with each other and want to experience an out-of-body experience. This was the evil dark side of it, of let's not experience the pleasure, let's just experience the pain of it. And I do honestly think that if it had been blocked a little bit better, because it is Mizora floating there effervescently and being all pretty and her wings are out and that's hot, I'll give you that. And then your Tav or your Origin is there completely naked and is hand over chest feeling all of these feelings, but I almost feel like if they had been intertwined at the hips and there was some form of bodily connection, that I would have felt more from this scene. But the fact that you are literally like feet apart floating there together just made
He's
it
like 10 feet behind you.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's any connection at all, which it doesn't. I'm not looking for a romance with Mizora, but at least something, some kind of connection, intimacy when you're supposed to be having some kind of sex. I don't know. It's like having a sex through a hole in a sheet. Wait, what's the point? I don't know.
I mean, glory holes can be hot, but that's not even what this was either.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. So
Mizora's hot though.
She is. I also don't
bitch.
like the morning after. I mean, I think almost every person. Well, Astarion did not break up with me. He flippantly said that he wished he had been invited to join.
Yeah, he was like a bratty, like, I wish you told me. But I was like, that seems so off for like, because you didn't tell him beforehand like you can with Halcyon. You know what I mean? Like you betrayed trust with your romance with Mizora. And with Harlot. Like it wasn't a prearranged thing. So the fact that all of them didn't react with some kind of disappointment or anger to me felt false, because you at every point in everyone's romance, you should already be locked in at that point. You should have trust. They should have whatever the outline of your relationship is laid out, and it does not include you sleeping around with Mizora. So I just didn't appreciate like that comment by him, because it didn't feel like something he would say to me at that point.
Yeah. Will is absolutely devastated by this and breaks up with you. Gale is not as equally hurt, but definitely is extremely disappointed in you and leaves you. Lae'zel threatened to cut off my nuts and then left me. And then I haven't experienced anybody else yet. I don't think Halcyon even comments at all on it. I don't remember that on my only Halcyon run. So, yeah. Very, very descriptive and interesting scene to watch through once, but then never again, you know? I do it for funsies just to see the companion reaction after it, and normally then immediately save scum back to it and tell the bitch I am not smiling at her.
Yep. That's exactly what I did the one time I did it. And I won't be doing it again. No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I fully admit that I love brothels in video games. I've talked about them in every single opportunity that we've had. Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, in The Witcher. Was there a brothel in DAI? I don't think there's a brothel. That's sad.
Not that I remember. Origins, though.
Origins for damn sure, and in DA2. I've also sat as Shepherd watching the strippers in Cora's Den. I have sat and watched the wall dancer in ME3 for longer than I really should have, and I admit to that. So, when you give me a brothel in BG3, of course, I've experienced the Drow twins. There are too many combinations with all different outcomes and different dialogue selections to even try to go over them all. For me personally, through save scums and multiple save files, I have personally experienced solo Tav with a male, solo Tav with a female, Tav with a non-romanced pre-Cazador Astarion, Tav with a romanced Ascended Astarion, Tav with a Spawn Astarion, Tav with an Ascended Astarion with Halsin, Tav with a Spawn Astarion with Halsin. So that's just 7 combinations right there. Now, Lae'zel and Will, who I have also romanced, will not want you to do it, and they will break up with your ass if you do pursue it. So, don't do that, because the twins are totally not worth breaking up with Lae'zel or Will. Now, as for playing as Astarion romancing Gale, I convinced him to join me and Halsin, and Gale did his astral projection thing. I need to try it without Halsin and see how that one also works out. So that would be 9, 10, 11 different scenarios. And none of those include Shadowheart, who is also up for group activities. I also don't know how Minthara or Karlak or Minsk or Jaheira react. There are so many different combinations. Oh, and there is also secret dialogue. If you are playing as a drow, you get to call the twins out on their Menzoberranzan bullshit. Yeah, no. Sorry, honey. That's not true. So, there are a shit ton of ways to play out this scene, and most of them are damn good. I will have to say that it was a very special and personal experience that I had with an Ascended Astarion and my Tav, who is also now a vampire, both biting Halsin simultaneously. That was a kink I didn't know I needed to explore, but it is there, it is done, I hold that sacred. But there is a clip that I have to play. It is outright the funniest sex dialogue I have ever experienced. And in order to make it funnier, I did record the lines myself, so you know exactly the responses required to get this scene. You can be either a male or female or an origin Tav or a dirge. It doesn't matter, but you have to have solo sex with the male drow.
We will make a pervert of you yet.
We're going to do missionary with the lights off.
A wicked gleam lights up his eye, far more sinful than any you witnessed before.
Oh, you filthy thing. You have surprised me. Most people come in here with, let me stuff all of your hair into my favorite orifice, or I can't come unless you use your deep gnome voice. I'm numbed to all the depravities I conduct on a daily basis, but boring sex? That's a new fetish entirely. We mustn't waste a moment of this mundane night.
Let's do it like we've been married for 10 years.
In the darkness, he instinctively caresses your neck before realizing he must do worse. He squeezes your rear with a limp grasp.
Oh, kitten, be bad for me. Be bad at sex.
Take your clothes off clumsily, tripping sensuously over your socks. Lie motionless on the bed, expending no effort. I haven't had a bath in a 10-day. Or, I'm too tired to do anything tonight. Let's just go to sleep.
Oh, I had fermented herring for dinner.
You engage in a tepid night of the most memorable, unremarkable sex. The drow seems to have the time of his life.
I had to retake one of those lines because I could not stop laughing. Oh my god. It's so funny. The fact that they made boring ass sex into a kink was just too much. Unhinged. I'm done.
I saw that before and it was brilliant. I do love that. I just think it's just so funny because that to me felt like the most like one of those filler episodes in anime you would watch. I don't know, like Full Metal Alchemist or something, where they have like the most dumbass, stupid shit, completely unrelated to the plot, but purely there for the fans. And that's what this kind of felt like to me, where it was literally just, hey, let's just be silly in Act 3. Like you're about to go kill the Netherbrain and stuff. But what if we added this in for fun? It's just great. I love that because to me, I mean, say what you will about the audio clip and the sex scene and the twins, which I'll get to that. But the fact that there's just it's another example of all the details, all the effort that went into this game, and like the studio has its priorities, right? Clearly. Like this kind of thing would have been cut so fast if EA were publishing this game. This would never have happened, you know, like this, but this is what we want. This is what makes art. This is what makes it memorable and fun. Like I said, I would get to this. I just don't like the twins together. Twincest to me as a twin is despicable and disgusting, and I can't imagine it. And I don't understand the fetishization of twins, or twins who will engage with that. I mean, I get with these drow twins, they're like, life is clearly better for us up here because, you know, one of them is male who is useless in Menzoberranzan or wherever he's from. And the other one's like, well, I didn't want to be a farm laborer, so I'd rather be up here. So you guys both get your luxurious life, do your thing, whatever makes you happy. I'm not judging. I just hate that you can have them at the same time. I was like, ew, gross. Never wanted to do that. Not into that at all. I am sad that you can't get her outfit. I want her outfit. I want any of the ladies' outfits in the brothel. Like, why do we not get any good slutty outfits in this game? Everyone else has so many awesome slutty outfits. And I'm like, oh, where can I get that? Can't buy it. Can't find it. Can't kill them and take it off their body. So sucks. I mean, as a console player, I think that sucks. Jealous of PC mods.
Fully agree with everything that you said. I've just played the scenes out enough times that, you know, because it's like, it is for research. And then, of course, because I want to have those different experiences and things like that and see what all the dialogue really is about. I just kind of have to mentally put that on a block that they're related. These are just a drow man and a drow woman to me. They are not siblings. They are not twins. Yeah. But I will also say that on the flip side of this, where you have the funny ass male drow one night stand, you can also ask him to play out one of your fantasies of, you know, I've always wanted to fuck Dritz, and he will role play out that he is Dritz, and that one's pretty funny too.
There's just so many little lore bits thrown in the most unlikely places.
The one that I truly appreciated was in this playthrough right now, playing as Origin Astarion. And if you take him and have a solo scene with just the female, you can explain to her that you have trauma in your past that you want to have help working through. And she asks, what do you want to be completely off limits? And she will explain that even for her, she has her own limits in place and doesn't want you to cross them, and says, if you respect me, I will respect you and I will help you through this. And then it is a very different version of a scene where Astarian's generally flippant or play acting in these scenes, that he wants to be there, but at the end, when Tav looks at him, Astarian's a million miles away. But with a solo female playing as an Astarian origin, the narrator says that a part of him has been healed through the touch of this drow. And that one hit me. It's a very good touching moment.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to talk about, was like the million miles away look. Is that's something a lot of people will see and like save scum or be like, oh no, you can't take Astarion there because you're re-traumatizing him and stuff. But it's like Astarion consented in the beginning. Like I thought it was, instead what I saw was someone who has sexual trauma and thought this is a safe place to try again. And then he realized, oh, that was too soon. You know, like I should, you know what I mean? Like you have to do that stuff. Like there are going to be times when you have been traumatized by anything that you're going to have a moment where it's triggered. And if you have any hope of getting through that and getting past that to heal yourself a bit, you will have to push the boundary by trying. You know, it's not necessarily exposure therapy for sexual trauma. That's not what Astarion was doing, and that's not what I would recommend. But like, you know, I think it was good of him to try, and good of him then to recognize, like, oh, it was too soon. Like, that's the only way he will heal. I think that's fine. It's not the same thing as, to me, when he says, like, he was concerned that you wanted to be with Halsin because you guys haven't had sex in a while. Like, that's, like, I was too sad to have sex with Halsin because he didn't want to, like, join in. He wasn't, like, trying to do, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if that, or, like, in Act 2, where he's saying, I don't want to have sex maybe forever. And then you can force him to do it, like, and he'll go through with it. And then he'll be like, you know what, actually, you suck and I'm breaking up with you. And like, good for him because he's learned his boundaries. But like, that's just another example of like Astarion's journey is just finding his voice again and learning who he is and what he wants. And I think that's a nice little touch. Also, as an origin Astarion, it's like a different thing where you can have it be a healing moment rather than a oh well, that's not what I wanted. Because in that moment, when you take him with you as a romanced companion rather than your player character, like you're his safe sexual person. So that's why I don't think it worked out with the drow twin or twins, depending. But yeah, I liked that. And I think the same thing with Gale for the where he's there in the weave form, because like his stuff is from Mistra, stupid bitch. And like I think he just felt safer being literally detached from his body for that. And you know, maybe he's really not into sharing that much either. So.
Yeah, no, and I totally got and understood that. I just wanted to push the boundaries and I wanted to get, you know, the scene with Gale there. I had to remind him, like, the way that I got this was, you wanted to have sex as gods in the weave, and yet you're not willing to try this with me. And that was the way that I had to convince him. Well, thankfully, it wasn't a roll or a persuasion check or anything like that. It was just a straight dialogue choice, which to me feels less compelling and non-con than if I had to pass a roll to get it.
Yeah, that's true. I think because you guys approached it as a couple, it's okay. I mean, I don't want to get too in the weeds on all of this because, like you said, there's so many options. So you guys have fun at the brothel. I recommend having one or the other, not both, just because, like, twins, it's gross. Don't do it. We are two separate people who are related to one another. So that's yucky. Incest is nasty.
Agreed.
Targaryens.
All right. Is this a good spot for us to take our mid break? Okay, let's do that then. You and I will dance together into the mid-break, doing I'm not quite sure what.
Dancing obviously to Fall Out Boy, because that's why I named this episode One Night and One More Time. Thanks for the memories, even if they weren't so good.
Sweet.
Yep, that's why I named this one.
All right. But that's what we're dancing to. That's not what style of dance we're doing. Or are we just like kind
no.
of like headbanging mosh pit style, jumping up and down?
Yeah, just random millennial emo bullshit. I don't know. or my kid's having her first ballet/tap dance class in the morning, so we could do some pirouettes or some steppy steps.
Ooh, fun.
Whatever you prefer.
All right. Well, here we are at the middle of the show. We don't really have any fun facts to read out other than the fact that this is episode 127. So we've been doing this for a long ass time now, V. And I love you. I don't think that's a fun fact though. That's just a pure ass fact.
You're not my one night stand.
No. We've literally had 127 nights together.
True.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't do any fun facts. Sorry. This episode, because it's so like just sex for these people, I was like, how about I not put in any effort at all to the script?
You fucking pillow princess.
Well, I mean, I was tired. I still am tired. But yeah, so it's fine. This is just the last bit of Baldur's Gate 3, which is sad. I don't like that. Oh, here's a fun fact for you. Neil Newbon looks so good in eyeliner.
Holy shit, yes, he does.
Also, Sam Bayard gave me bi panic in their dress, so I don't know if you saw their look. Everyone looked hot yesterday.
I did not see that. All I saw was that black on black on black suit with the guy liner, and I was like, sir, please?
I'm done. I'm finished. I will go into the West. I am diminished. I cannot stand the heat of the hotness.
Oof. Okay. Yes. That was fun. All right. So I will now go on to the next little bit. Spotify, we are at 184 ratings. I appreciate you all so much. You have no idea how much that really, truly does help. If you can also help get us that iTunes number up a little bit higher, I'd really appreciate that. It's also been a little while since we've been able to read out a review. Oh, I do remember a Spotify comment that you said that we definitely needed to comment on.
Yeah, I already put it, like when we started recording, I typed a little thing in the notes for that particular character.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. I didn't forget. You think I forgot? I hold a grudge. No, just kidding. It's not a grudge. Not yet.
So let's give special shout outs to our favorite patrons, and then we can move on to the second half of the show. Major love, big thank you, all the hearts to Toasty and Apollo, Becky and Daddy Batnight, Stone Mystios and Muffiny Cake, Win, Evie from HR, Lavellany, and Magister Davida. Loves.
Thank you. Hope to see more of you this coming patron chat. It looks like it'll be a good one from the votes coming in so far.
Ooh. Lay intrigue. Okay. I don't think that I have anything else to add to the middle of the show other than please go comment, like, review, rate. Tell us all the wonderful things that we do. Mwah. All right, Miss V. So for the second half of the show, we kind of wanted to go back over and talk about everybody all over again. So this is going to be a 27-hour long episode.
No. I figured you could just speed run it through their kisses. And if I have a thought, I'll chime in and then shut up really fast. I didn't have wine, so I have no excuse to be long-winded today. On it.
Okay.
No 27-hour episode.
I wanted to do a breakdown of all the individual kisses, but I kind of just didn't because they're so personal and so sweet and just so each character that if you're going to romance them, you're going to see them. I mean, I know that I kiss my sweetie every single time I load in the save and right before I end up closing it for the night because they're so fucking cute. Okay. Let's go down the list of the order that we did the episodes in because that's just easy that way. Starting with Halsin. Oof. My big giant elf man. I am forever going to romance him whenever I get the opportunity to, because the forehead kiss is everything that I need. I know that I literally just said that I wasn't going to talk about the individual kisses, but this one's too fucking cute to not talk about. He is so loving and affectionate and big. He makes me feel tiny. And that doesn't happen. He's able to just pick you up and hold you and hug you and squeeze you and make you feel the love. And then the man's mouth can do things. He kisses you with such an intense passion, but then also shows such a level of affection that goes beyond just desire in the simple forehead kiss. And I'm undone. It's too cute.
Yeah, I haven't got the forehead kiss yet. I don't know what happened. I'm romancing Astarion and Halsin, and I got into Act 3, got the romance scene with Halsin, and something happened, and now he won't say anything to me. I can't kiss him. He doesn't act like we are romanced. So something happened, which is a bummer because I'm playing as Dark Urge, and my girl, I'm like, she would have both of them, her appetites. So I don't know what happened, but it's a bummer. Astarion still loves me at least, but yeah, I'm
That
not sure
is
what's going
very
on with
odd.
that. I will say the only thing I think happened is I still have one or two long rests before Orin shows herself, and I'm kind of wondering if she's him right now, and that's why.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. If not, whatever. I'll just have to play it again, I guess. Halsin's really grown on me.
Yeah. Now, like you said, with
Not my
his
typical
scene,
elf.
he's not the typical elf, but he's still, I think it's just the big cuddly teddy bear. And that's what I really love about him, and his scene is fucking top tier. I've definitely rewatched that one and replayed it just because I love it. Like, personally, it works for me. But then the voice and overall tone and the language that he uses is amazing. It feels like he is the 350 years old that he is because he doesn't talk with the flippancy. He's not a millennial for damn sure. He is set in his roots. And I love that. He is also kind of lacking in the emotional depth until the epilogue, and that is sad. I wish that there was a little bit more of an emotional connection before that, but I also wanted to talk about his trauma dump. And we talked about it in his episode that he talked about being chained up to a drow's bed for 3 years. And it was just kind of like, what? Where did this come from? Random conversation. But it's not. I experienced this conversation for the first time, and it's not a random conversation like we said in the episode. No. It is the conversation directly after having an orgy with the twins, meaning that it has to be a 5-some, it can't be a 4-some. So there has to be many willing partners. I was playing as Origin Astarion, who is all for all the sex all the time, which is a whole totally separate topic. But he, Astral Projection Gale, and Housen had big group fun times. And then he tells you the tale of the last time he was with a drow. And then proceeds to tell you about the horrible things that he went through. So, yeah.
Either it's changed or I don't know. Like I said, there's so many ways things happen in this game. It's hard to say definitively, especially with like, what are we on, patch 27 or something? But, or hotfix 27 and patch 6, I think is the most recent one. Anyway, I think it almost makes it a little better, the fact that he tells you this after he's very enthusiastically consented to the Drow twins scenes, because to me it's kind of all like, in that context it kind of sounds like he's telling you like, this used to actually be a problem for me and now it's not, you know.
Yeah,
he's healed, maybe
he's worked through it a little bit, but not enough in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to move on to Shadowheart?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about her. I like Shadowheart. She's the basic romance option. She's like the Toyota Corolla. You know, reliable. Everyone picks her.
Yeah.
She'll outlast them all.
I also don't have much more to say about her, and I see why so many people love her. I really, really do. And I will be romancing her in the future. My paladin was originally going to be the one that romanced her until I learned that you don't get to pick a god, but an oath only, because I wanted to play a saloon knight romancing her, just to see how all of that played out. But I wanted to play a paladin, not another cleric. But I think after my next run is a Githyanki run, Githyanki monk who's going to romance Karlak. After that, I am going to take 1 level in Cleric of Saloon, and then maybe the rest going Bard? Question mark is still debating on what this character is going to be. I don't know who she is yet, but we shall see. And that will be my Shadowheart romance. And then I will have fucked everyone in this game. Woo!
Yeah. I am not a completionist, so I will not be romancing Shadowheart, but she is my bestie. I love her as a friend. Yeah. As we've said, we've said a bunch of this stuff. It looks like you had a lot to say about Will again.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get into Will.
Okay. My Will. My William. I wish there was so much more to you, Will, because there's so much potential here. I really did love and appreciate his romance with my paladin. It was a slow burn that made the payoff so good. When he finally was able to plunge the blade, I was happy. I was happy with the romance, but the epilogue sucks. Okay. I picked for the three of us to go to Avernus. And then when I hit epilogue, everyone asked me about Karlak. Jahira asked about where my home is now, and my option was still Baldur's Gate, or wherever I make it, or beside Karlak. No. Will is the one who fell to his knees on the dock and said to me, "My love, please, we can help her. Let's go to Avernus, the three of us." My home is with Will, and I followed him to the hells because we could save our friend. Someone who knows me personally knows that I would go to hell and back for my tribe. And if my husband said, "This person needs our help," I'm there. I am there next to him. Because remember, at this point, Will and I are engaged. I agreed to marry this man. I'm going to stand by him. I don't remember who or what was exactly asked in the epilogue, but one of the characters asked a question, and one of my options for a response was, "Yeah, hell sucks, but Karlak smiles, parts the clouds." Again, I didn't romance Karlak. Why are my friends talking like I love her more than I love Will? Please, Larian, fix the romanced Will epilogue. Now, Gale was the only one who even said anything about Will, asking if we would come and guest lecture for him and his students. But then again, not really. He asked if I would come and speak to his students. I had to ask if Will could come along too, and it felt like, "Oh yeah, please pay attention to little Will. He was on this adventure too." To top it off, Will was really sweet, and I liked the conversation that we had in the epilogue. But there was no mention about the fact that we're engaged. And there was no repeatable kiss. I remember in the other romances that I had, my first half could walk up to Halson and kiss him 50 times in a fucking row if she wanted to. But no, I don't even get that with Will. He does this really cute and adorable blow kiss motion. Like he puts both of his hands to his lips and then blew me a kiss. But then there's no further interaction. Like he says, "Go on, my love, spend time with our friends." God damn it. I was completely and utterly disappointed. I think I'm going to replay the endings. Sorry, a little bit more. I think I'm going to replay the endings and see what it's like just sending him to Avernus, or just me, and see if he even says he misses me while I was gone. Or for science, what our endings are like if Karlak just dies. I don't want that. And I don't want it to be the best option, but I'd like a better romanced Will epilogue.
I was just going to say, I think that happened to mine too, my first playthrough, because it's the only one I've gotten to the epilogue with. And my romance historian, he said the same thing, like, "Go have fun with your friends," or our friends, because he was spawn historian. And I couldn't kiss him at all. At least I don't remember that. And so I just don't think, I think it's because they had cut it and then added it back in, like, and then they keep adding things. Like, there's just hope. There's hope that more, they've already given us so much, like, that we could only dream of in games before. So I'm glad that there's hope that we could have even more because we're greedy and I want all the things. But yeah, I definitely feel like out of all of them, Will is the river of this game. So
That
and I'm
was
talking
my
about River from Cyberpunk.
yes. So much potential, but unfortunately wasn't given enough attention to make it fully worth it.
Yeah. I can't speak for current River's state because I haven't played Cyberpunk since all of that's been updated. But, he was so buggy for so long. You didn't get the full romance experience. And even if you did, it was hardly the amount of content as the other ones. But yeah, same with Will. Just like really great guy.
I think you'd absolutely love Phantom Liberty. By the way, total side tangent. You would love Phantom Liberty because now if you do Romance River, he can move into your apartment with you. And so that way you have a lot of more interaction with him.
Planning on playing Cyberpunk again once I'm done with Baldur's Gate. Although now I kind of want to replay Fallout 4 because they're releasing a remastered version because of the show. And I'm like really needing some ghoul time. Yeah. So Hancock forever. Anyway, so I don't know how much more you want to spend time on this. I know I saw you have a note for Astarion, and then there's like I don't even care about saying what I was going to say about Minthara. I guess like it's fine. It doesn't really fit anymore. But
do we need to split this into 2 episodes again and just
no, absolutely not. I refuse to deviate from our schedule.
Okay, I need more BG3.
I know, but I have a plan. I'm a Virgo. But yeah, so yeah. Okay. Agree with you on Will. I see your Astarion note. Feel free to Astarion it up. And then basically all I really want to talk about after that is just briefly the Emperor rebuttal, and then we can be done.
Okay. I want to do Astarion, Gale's kisses, and then we can move on to Emperor. Dear modders, I need a mod that allows all kisses to be on rotation. I want Astarion to bite me and also sweetly hold me, to grab my throat and also gently stroke my face. I'm willing to be on my knees and to also have that dazzling smile directed at me. So thank you kindly in advance for making this possible. Because I would love it if I could have all 8 variations on a Spawn Astarion. I would be undead. I would be unwell, unhinged, everything.
You're talking about having ascended kisses with Spawn Astarion?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure. It's fine.
It's not for you.
Allegedly, it's not for me, but I've heard tell that the kisses are supposed to be randomized, but I'm not sure when that's supposed to happen because my Astarion only kisses me one way every time, and I haven't seen anything else. And I don't know if is it the randomized kisses only happen after you finish their personal quest in Act 3 or something, or is it supposed to just happen? Because
it's supposed to just happen.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's not fair.
Do you kiss them multiple times, like in a row?
In a row? Yeah. Oh yeah, I do that. To the point where when my husband's playing his Xbox in our bedroom 2 rooms away, he'll be like, I can hear you. Because like obviously Astarion like says the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm kissing Astarion over and over again. Be jealous. So but yeah. But I know it's the same one every time. It's annoying. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's probably just me. I don't know. I got unlucky.
I could talk about how playing as an Origin Astarion has really changed things for me. But I won't go into all of those details. I will just say that Astarion as an NPC is very different than Astarion as a PC. And leave it there.
It's probably true for all of them. Like, you still have to have a level of player choice when they are the player character, you know? And you don't have their companion dialogue anymore. So, like, while you get insight into more of their character in some ways because you can, like, now hear their thoughts, and you get, like, a nightmare scene with Astarion in Act 1, stuff like that. That's good. That's interesting to know, but, like, it's not the same because you aren't experiencing them with their actual personalities because you're playing them. You have to allow the player to have some control over who they are. Otherwise, it's not that fun for them.
I think the one that bothered me the most was the Araj Abludara interaction at Moonrise Towers, the one who wants Astarion to drink her blood. That one for me could have very easily been still within the player choice, but the way that Astarion plays it out if he's your companion. A simple insight check of, bitch smells nasty. I don't want to bite her. But I didn't get that. He was more than eager to bite her and was willing to do it. And then he goes, oh no, this tastes nasty afterwards. But okay, there was no real effect to it. There was no him standing up for himself in that moment. So it just sucked. But I mean, the +2 permanent bonus to Karlach's strength was a little bit worth it. So, different choices every playthrough. Okay, I want to talk about Gale because he's freaking adorable and I love every single one of his kisses. And there's one really cute, just sweet and innocent little peck. There is one where he grabs your chin and holds your waist that I fixate on. And there's something in my brain that can't get rid of the way that it plays out. And I'm a little too obsessed with it. And then there is the most adorable one that I have ever seen. And it is where your player character says that they want a kiss. And they stand there, eyes closed, lips puckered, waiting for it. And Gale sneaks up and kisses your cheek. And your person goes completely startled, taken aback, and is like, what? And then you grab Gale by his hips and pull him in, deeply, passionately kiss him back. Gale pulls away and just gives this devilish little smirk that has me undone. And I did not expect that I would love Gale Decarios as much as I frickin' do. Bloodweave for life, baby. Bloodweave for life. And now I am done.
That's super cute. I saw a cameo of Tim Downey, like, as Gale, saying, like, it was, I guess the prompt was something like, why should I choose you over Astarion? And it ended with him saying, like, you could have me enjoying the finer things in life, or you could have the guy that sits under a bridge and eats dead rats out of a bag. I'm like, oh my God, you did not have to come for my boy that hard. It was so funny. All their cameos, every time I see one, it's just brilliant. Anyway, there's one thing I want to talk about other than everyone else. Is everyone's fine. You guys just play this game and look at the kisses, okay? The patch where they added in all the extra kisses is cute and makes our job solid. We got security, okay? But there was the comment on the last episode that I want to address before we finish this episode. It was saying that it was Ula. I read your comment. And they were like, oh my gosh, so much hate for the Emperor. when like Solus is a walking, talking red flag out the gate. Like, so why did you hate on the Emperor so much when like Solus isn't that different? And we did even mention in the beginning that we broke down the Emperor's character in a similar way to Solus because in some ways they have some overlap for their character. But in very important ways, they do not overlap. And the important way is, namely, that while both of them deceived you into who they truly were and what their true motivations were, one of them freely, willingly used attraction slash romance slash actual physical intimacy, sex, to manipulate you into assisting it in its motivations, in its plans, in its machinations, if you will. The other decidedly would not use physical intimacy, not to manipulate you even. This one, Solus, truly loves you and broke up with you because he knew it would be the ultimate betrayal to be with you under such a lie. Like, yeah, he let it go on too long. Obviously, we talked about that in Solus's episode. But that's the big difference for me. It's like they both lied. Yes, they both started a relationship with you under false pretenses. Yes, but one of them refused to use that relationship to manipulate you or to use you for anything. Like, just was like, no, okay. And the other one literally would eat your brain. Okay, like once again, Mind Flayer, no redeeming. Omelum, maybe. Omelum, maybe is the one exception, but not the Emperor, not the Emperor at all. Like, he does not feel. We've established that. Like, they don't have emotions the way mortals or even immortals. I mean, some of them might have some kind of feelings, but like Solus definitely has feelings, definitely felt guilt, definitely feels some things. Like, I mean, like I said, we talked about in his episode. I will not defend the things that he does, but I will say it is clear, and it's also confirmed by Patrick Weeks, that Solus actually genuinely feels for your Inquisitor in a way that the Emperor, as a Mind Flayer, is literally incapable of doing. So to me, that is the big difference. That's why when we were talking about the Emperor's romance relationship, like the romantic aspect of the relationship with the Emperor, which there is no romantic aspect, it's just physical intimacy and some manipulation that you either are going with or realizing and trying to not go with. But it's not a critique on the Emperor. We were specifically talking about his relationship. And yes, the relationship, if you want to have sex with him and you're trying to think that you're going to like be romantic and you guys mutually have respect and love for one another in a romantic fashion, like that's a shit relationship. You guys have a great working relationship. You save the world together, but that's not the same thing. Whereas I think you have a genuine romance with Solus that ends really tragically, but it was real when it was happening. So that to me is the difference.
Big time for sure. I think we all know that I'm not the biggest Solus fan, but Solus is willing to give me genuine love and affection and eventually true honesty in everything. I would believe a relationship with Solus before I would believe a true relationship with the Emperor. Unless you fall in line with his desires and become a Mind Flayer yourself, and then you guys can go off and go eat brain together. Like that, I think maybe they might have an ongoing relationship beyond the epilogue. But even then, that's not love. That's not anything. That's just like a power couple who work together.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they just work together in every possible outcome of the letter that the Emperor will write you for the epilogue party, even if you are a mind flayer who is like all for taking over the Sword Coast with the Emperor, he still never calls you his love or anything like that. Like, it's just like, you're my partner, or working together. Like, here's our business plan, and here's my update for the business contacts I've made. Like, there's nothing cutesy about that. And also, you could eat his brain if you're a mind flayer, like, so fast. My other thing is, if you go into the relationship with the Emperor in good faith on your part and trust him, that doesn't mean he trusts you. Your playthrough, you will literally never know the truth about Duke Stelmane. You'll never know the truth about what he's doing to you. The only way he ever is fully honest with you is if you call him out, being like, bro, you suck. You're going to manipulate me. I don't trust you. And then he'll finally be like, all right, bitch, here. Yeah, let me show you what I could do to you instead if you don't willingly work with me. Basically threatens you with becoming a thrall and Ceramorphosis that he will force on you if you don't. So it's like not the same thing as Solus at all, but that's my opinion. I'm not saying Solus does not have red flags. That's the thing. Is like, we are talking specifically about their romances, and the Emperor doesn't have one. There's no romance with the Emperor.
No. Really good sex. Better sex than Solus. I'll give him that.
For sure, yeah, for sure. Better sex than Solus. Interestingly enough, both are like secluded little blue-toned isolated areas also, like where Solus removes the Vaseline and it's full of water, and then you're full of like astral plane, lovely calming spa template, like color palette.
I'm sorry, Sarah's voice of it must just look like a whole bunch of chicken necks in a bag just popped into my head, and I was like, that's kind of what the Emperor looks like too. He's all weird,
the Emperor
bones.
Also, it also no bones, because like octopi, what are they called? Like they're invertebrates.
Cephalopods.
They don't have bones.
Yeah.
Isopods, yeah. That's what I thought it was called. But then my brain was like, no, it's not, silly. Cephalopod, there we go. Cephalopods don't have bones.
Yeah, but I mean he has a spine though. The mind flayers have spines, so they have bones.
They have bones.
His tentacles don't have bones.
Yeah, they're bendy, flaccid, and apparently erogenous.
I was going to take a sip of water, but I think on that is where we will end tonight's episode.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll miss you, Baldur's Gate 3, but we've talked about it to death and hopefully have done the romances justice.
Agreed. I think, yeah. Yeah. Unless a new patch comes out that fixes any of the things that we've discussed or adds anything wildly new, I think we are putting BG3 to rest for now. But we always reserve the right to come back to it if needed and necessary. Because it's our damn show. And if we want to talk more about it, we can talk more about it. Now, if you like what you're hearing, please...
It doesn't want to focus.
No, it doesn't. There we go. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes or on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me on the Cyberpunk Lorecast with my co-host Toasty, where we explore the foundations of the past, the state of Night City today, and the news of the future for all things cyberpunk. Make sure you check out Scyther Audio's newest fan-made production, The Avengers, the audio drama, where you can hear me and several of our podcasting friends. On the most recent episode, I have a much bigger role. You'll be easily find me this time. And you can reach me in our Two Girls, One Ship channel on the Robots Radio Discord. Come give us a follow on all the social medias and on patreon.com/2girls1ship, Remember, you have to spell out the entire website. You can't search for us because I create adult content. Our theme music was composed by the ever-talented Pipeman Studios, and our artwork was designed by the esteemed Let's Not. Links to all of those are in the description.
I am also on the Robots Radio Discord and on our own Two Girls One Ship Discord server where we nerd out on all our favorite CGI significant others and not our favorite ones lately. Emperor. Sorry for those of you who like the Emperor, but that's just our opinion. So also be sure to check out our live streams. We stream every Friday at 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. Pacific time or 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening, and remember,
beauty is in the eye of the controller.
yay! Oh,
That one's
126.
longer than
I know. That was way longer than I expected.
An hour tops. Why do I think that it would be only an hour tops? I am a silly, silly goose.
Yeah. I'm tired now.
Yes.
I'm sleepy.
Me too. And I actually have to get up early on Saturdays now. Every Saturday, 9 a.m.
Why?
Dance time.
Oh. Dance Revolution?
Yeah. No, ballet. Which is going to be super cute. I'm just sleepy and I like to sleep in and I never get to.
Yeah, I have to be at my mom's at 10 tomorrow, so not as bad, but my body just fucking wakes me up at like 7:30.
Yeah, mine too. So I don't know why I'm complaining. I just don't like to have a specific time to wake up. I want to wake up when I wake up, which is already early anyway, but like not having an alarm is what I want. Anyway, yeah, thanks Stream for joining us on this random unorganized episode. We'll be back to our scripted shit next week with a completely different game that probably no one gives a shit about, but whatever. We're going to talk about it.
Is he coming on to talk about it?
He said he wants to.
All
I don't know what we're going to do about our child, but probably do our best.
The child. By the way, I accidentally did this. I said the phrase in the worst way possible, and I died. So when we were talking about this episode, I was talking to Toasty, and I was like, hey, dude, so this Friday we're doing like a big wrap-up episode. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about Shadowheart? And he's like, I don't really remember. I was like, well, okay. If you decide that you want to come on the girls, just let me know.
You gotta warn me. Gotta get my splash gear on.
Yeah, it derailed the conversation for a minute because I was like, if you decide to come on the girls, just let me know. And I was like, he's like, dude. I was like, there's so many different ways that sentence can be taken.
There's only one way I took it.
Well, I mean, there's us, the two girls, or there's the girls, because
you're two girls. Okay.
My girls. But there's also us, the girls. So I'm going to now refer to it, and every time that I invite a interview subject on, hey, do you want to come on the girls and talk about X character? Because now
I go.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It tits. I could totally do
a Nazi alphabet.
the naughty alphabet. A is for anal, B is for bukkake, C is for cunnilingus, D is for
Are we gonna get
Dirty
in trouble
Sanchin.
on Twitch?
No.
Oh,
I
good.
can say whatever words I want to. I can't be censored that way. I just can't show any flesh. I can get in trouble. I exposed my
How
shoulders.
dare you show a shoulder?
Oh.
Almost as bad as an ankle.
No, I'm not showing my feet on stream.
Yeah, never. No, I was just saying his shoulder's almost as bad as an ankle.
Yeah,
As a joke.
I know.
Or if you're in public school,
What?
like you can't wear tank tops and shit. Public school.
I know,
Those
because
women's
shoulders are
shoulders are
so
dangerous.
sexual.
Yeah, they're too sexual. Can't handle it. All right, it's bedtime. I love you.
Okay. I love you too. Okay, stream. Goodbye.